Hey YouTube, here with the A320 again. Just wanted to give you the 10,000 foot view mod so far. Full retraction of flaps, takeoff, landing, multiplier effect for brake. Notice how they made up almost. That is exactly the way I wanted it to work. We'll just meet up. Kind of a compound joint there. 1, 2, 3, as in the middle there. 3, 4 hinges on each side. And what's going on is this hinge here is actually straight in here and then up at an angle. So then it forces the position, because these can articulate free of one another. They articulate like this, flap 1, flap 2, but they also change in orientation as it opens. And that's the way I wanted it, to hopefully help with tip stalls, because my understanding is when you have an inboard outboard flap like this, you want to try to do inboard down lower, outboard down slightly, not quite as far. And then if I had enough channels, I'd have flap-arounds too, and these things would come down as well. And then I'd also tie these in as spoilers. So I don't know, maybe I'll end up doing that anyway. Another mod, separate gear doors here. The WDC is just part of the tail number here. WDC is the last 3 digits. I don't know if that's right. It's probably not right, but JetBlue seems to use the last 3 digits on there, so I just kind of copied theirs. They have a lot of Airbus in their fleet. So real quick on the flaps deployment. That's landing. Coming in for a landing, pop the gear door. Bring up the gear. And then of course the mains. We've got the additional. You'll notice I touched up the paint quite a bit. So basically the inner part of the gears are going to be gray or black. And someday I hope to maybe do another color that's a little bit more exciting, similar to the color of this Sea Fury, so that it's kind of a pops a little more. And that'd be this color right here. So, and by the way guys, I did end up getting this gray to match really well. Go ahead and collapse those gear. After about 10 seconds, you'll see the small gear close right away, because they actually get pulled down with this string here. It's a black string. I'll give you a sequence here real quick. You can see a little sluggish on those. I just did a fresh piece of tape right here, fresh piece of tape. And you'd be surprised how strong tape can be if you use the right type. But when this thing's going 450,000 miles an hour, I don't want it to rip off. Excuse me. So guys, I can't wait to show you. It's gonna be awesome. Got the gear up, getting up to cruising altitude, cutting the flaps off, and you're noticing this gap here. This gap is all part of the design. I may end up extending the wing root just a little bit here, just to make it look like this was by design from the manufacturer, because I want it to blend in, even though for all practical purposes the wing was quite scaled to begin with. But yeah, that'll just entail putting a little piece of styrofoam in there and then going ahead and CAing it in. So just for looks, strictly for looks. I don't think it's really going to have any aerodynamic effect, or very minimal of that. But extending the wing out like this, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what the heck, man, you got a big gap in there. Well, that gap, first of all, is not going to be as critical as having a smaller wing. It's still going to produce a lot of lift. And then if you come over here for a second with me, obviously you can see these are going to be covering the gap, except when deployed, just like here. And so my hope is, and I've got some wet paint guys drying, otherwise I'd show you the other side. I had to recover all this stuff because I had to get to the wiring to route my cables for my servos. And basically, I just cut a really tight box around them, sunk them in, and I did a hot glue seam on the outside actually. A little bit of hot glue on the inside. Took a hot knife and cut cross hatching into the plastic, took off the labels, all that good stuff, and painted everything up so you can hardly tell. And then I gave myself an adjustment on my linkage there. Adjustments are really handy. 0.81 millimeter music wire, Emax Metal Gear 9-gram servos. They're actually 13 grams because of the Metal Gear, but they're a 9-gram size. Really like them. Long enough cable to get all the way up inside the fuse, and then I just used about a 3-inch Y cable to split them in. I have not cleaned up all my wiring yet. Sort of reluctant to do that until I get my LEDs in. Guys, this plane is going to be awesome to see. I can't wait to see it. And still quite a bit of strength in the wing. I hope I don't have to reinforce them. If I do, it's not the end of the world. But bearing in mind, I still want to do a leading edge slat too. And because I've taken out so much of the mass of the wing, but I did not compromise the landing gear support. That's going to be for us the strongest part of the plane. So I really, it killed me to take this out, but what am I going to do? So I didn't want to make split flaps. This isn't a P-51 or, excuse me, Sea Fury or something like that, you know. Didn't want to look stupid. So we'll see, guys. And by the way, there's still a whole lot of structural integrity here, and let me just demonstrate this for you. You guys aren't going to hardly believe this, or you may have already seen it, but whoops, didn't need to do that. Full deployment on flaps, right? Okay, so check this out. There's so much load being transferred that all this stuff bends. I mean, that's how strong these things are. I can't believe how awesome those servos are. I guess we'll find out in a couple weeks how awesome they really are, if they survive. But boy, they don't hesitate at all. And I was scared to death I wasn't gonna have enough throw. Got them set to 150% so I can actually take advantage of the entire 100% of the throw. And then I realized that's like too much. Like I couldn't handle it. I had to back it off. So, and incidentally, I can actually run these flaps slightly out to the top, which, you know, isn't really going to make sense in this application because I don't want them to act as spoilers, since there actually will be spoilers on this plane here shortly. So, guys, just be keeping your eyes out. This thing's going to fly soon, and I can't wait to see it. I'm sure you probably feel the same way. Keep watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.